All right. So market expert, of course, we went through the end of the month stats. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. We do have the finalized numbers from April. And you can see everything. We went over this last week, but April was a tough month, especially in the Owensboro market. They were down about 24%. A lot of that we do believe is due to hail. By the way, how many of you have had a delayed closing due to insurance, hail, or something along those lines? So okay, a majority of pretty much everybody. Okay, good. That's and I hate that for our people and I hate that for ourselves, but that's actually a good thing because that explains why April was down so much. So we should see a good bounce back month in May. Continuing on, so listing sold was actually up in Henderson. So again, no effect there. And the rest of the markets were basically break even. You can see Evansville ended up down a little less than 1.5%. Still closed out close to 3,000, so not concerned about that. And then Elizabethtown, 606 versus 617. So again, a little less than 2%. We're just trying to match last year. So again, not concerned about that. And then Louisville actually ended up, we thought they were going to break even, and they had a couple that I guess changed dates or something. They ended up down less than 1%. So April, for the most part, with the exception of the Owensboro market, all broke even to where we were at last year, which is kind of what we expect. So what's going to happen in May? Well, obviously time will tell, but we expect very similar to 2024 numbers, and we'll put those up for you next week so you can see our targets that we're trying to hit, with the exception being Owensboro. I would like to see them a little bit higher than 2024 because all these April closings flow over into May. So we'll see how it plays out and make sure that you all stay informed. Let's talk mortgage rates. So here's where we should be in mortgage rates. Basically, the average of all the mortgage rates being somewhere between 6.4 and 6.5%. Last week, conventionals were at 6.9, with FHA and VA being at 6.3. So the overall average slightly higher than where we thought we would be at this time last year. Looking at today, this morning, they did bump up ever so slightly on the conventional side, 0.02%. So basically the same thing, where FHA and VA went down by 0.3%. So rates continue to kind of hold steady. We did get, and actually this next slide, we did get some news on the tariffs and trade policies. If y'all saw this, if you haven't seen it, I'm sure it'll be all over the headlines, but U.S. and China did reach an agreement on their tariffs, reducing, I don't remember the exact numbers, but like we were charging like 145%. Now that goes to 30%. And then China, I think, was 125%, and that goes to 10, minus a few exclusive types of commodities that might be subject to some other stuff. So despite that, it's all good news from the economic front. But despite that, mortgage rates have jumped to their highest that we've seen in 2 weeks. So the biggest signal, I don't think, is this, what they're talking about with the trade and things like that. When we get to the news, we're going to talk a little bit about the Fed and kind of what they said. I think that's playing into the mortgage rates. Ultimately, long story short, we don't see the Fed reducing rates until in the June meeting. So probably looking at like August or something like that would be the first prime rate cut, which of course y'all know would help drive the mortgage rates down a little bit. But they're basically playing it safe and taking the wait and see approach and seeing what happens with the economy overall. So fun fact, so last week, before I flip this, we did where you could order homes in Sears, if y'all remember that. Well, this week I was looking at Menards, looking at a couple of home projects, and sure enough, I came across where you can actually buy houses at Menards now as well. So the big difference is this is like a material list. So you can see here's just 4 or 5 options. I did look at the square footage on these, and most of these that you're looking at are, somewhere around 3,000 to 4,000. This is just the material list. So, but I brought this up. I thought it was kind of cool that, you can still buy kits, so to speak. But I really brought this up because I was reading an article the other day, and it was talking about, it was actually in Owensboro Times, and the city partnered with Owensboro Health and a few others to make affordable housing. So basically the hospital owns 17 lots that they're donating. I think it's around the Parish Plaza, but they are donating 17 lots, and they were talking about how much it costs to build a home that would ultimately be worth $150,000. The number in this article was $250,000. It cost $250,000 to create a house that you could sell for $150,000. I was thinking, well, that math isn't mathing very well. So, and then I happened to remember that I saw this and I started looking at it. So I sent this over to one of my, a couple of my contractor buddies and was like, hey, just out of curiosity, just rough estimates. If I were to buy one of these, and I think I used that very first one, and I was, oh no, excuse me, I did the second one because it was all one level. I said, you know, if I were to buy the materials for this, how much do you think it would cost for me to be able to build it? And he was like, oh, you're looking at, he's like, construction wise, like what you're going to pay me for labor, probably $100,000. He's like, but you're going to have to buy the lot, which is going to be probably 40 or 50,000. You're going to have to get utilities ran. It ultimately ended up being about 200,000 more than the price that was on this one. So even on this lower priced one at 156,000, you're still looking at somewhere between he said a conservative estimate would be 3 to 350 in order to build this house. Now, when this house gets done, it's probably, I don't remember the square footage off the top of my head, but I remember running a quick CMA on it. It was probably like a $400,000 house. So ultimately you can still build houses for cheaper than, you know, what it would cost to buy it outright on the open market. But just to kind of further explain through this example, the challenges that we have, there was, in that same article, they talked about that Davis County, I think it was Davis County, it might have been just Owensboro, but I think it was all of Davis County, is short 4,000 homes. And if that's the case, I know Elizabethtown has had a big boom in apartments being built, and they're still short on housing as well. So I think all of our territories are short on housing, which goes back to that supply and demand, which is probably keeping our industry, for lack of a better term, afloat right now. There's a lot of people that are basically only moving and paying the prices that they have to pay right now because they can't find anything else. If we see a surge of supply, which is why we're monitoring supply so closely, if we see a big surge in supply, that's when you could see homes really start to depreciate a little bit. Now, they're ultimately not going to ever be cheaper than they were pre-pandemic. Could we potentially lose 5% of home values or something like that? That could happen. But right now, the inventory is so tight, we really don't see that happening in any of our markets. So roundabout way to tell you that building houses are really expensive right now.
I would say when I talked to Bob about, you know, what it takes to produce a lot back when he did it. And I mean, when he did it, it was even crazy. Just one lot.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what it is now. But I guarantee if someone were to develop a neighborhood with that second home with the one level, it would blow up.
Oh yeah. And here's the thing, like, so if I was looking at it on an individual scale, like I'm gonna buy one lot and build one house. If a developer could buy a couple of acres and develop it with roads, sewer, all that. Now, don't get me wrong, that's going to have a lot of cost. But instead of splitting that one-time cost for one house, you can split it between 10 or 20. It becomes more feasible.
Right.
So,
and I feel like that's what Davis County, Owensboro, needs is people want one level.
Yeah, I think
if someone could do that, that would be a money maker.
If somebody could figure out, regardless of location,
right.
If somebody could figure out how to build a single family, 3-bedroom, 1 to 1.5 bath house and keep it under 200,000.
Yeah.
I mean, those things would sell like hotcakes.
Not on Hall Street.
I mean, honestly, you could probably put it on Hall Street if there's enough of them.
It's two brand new ones and they look.
Yeah,
good.
I know which ones you're talking about.
You know,
Yeah.
it's just the area.
But your hearing talks about construction actually declining
Mhm.
because the lack in sales and some of the numbers faltering. You're seeing a lot of the big developers step back and they're not getting aggressive right now.
No, the profit margins are too small, and that's part of that's part of why they're wanting to, like, builders are calling for, in general, like the deregulation of building, because permits and things like that, like, because there's nothing we can do about materials. There's really nothing we can do about labor. So where could you save money? It's land development or purchase price or the regulation and permits and different things like that. So
The conversations I was hearing, and I'm listening to the podcast for what it's worth, is they're looking at it flatline the next 2 years.
and we've never hit our new construction volume pre-pandemic. I mean, like, if you go back to we're supposed to be, I'm trying to remember the numbers. I'll go back and find it in our previous market experts. So it's somewhere around 1 million homes a year across the nation. We've only hit that 2 of the last 8 years. And then when we did hit it, it wasn't like we blew it out. It was like 1,000,007 homes, like, or something like that. So that's kind of the combination of everything. And all of that stems back to where land quit being developed back in 2008 when we had the big banking crisis. So we're still dealing with stuff from decades ago. So it takes a long time to change that type of stuff for sure. All right, let's look at news. So just keeping you up to date with what's going on pricing. Y'all have heard me say it before, and I'll continue to say it. Nailing your pricing is probably the most critical aspect of your job right now. And it's forever changing. This is on a national level, so it doesn't necessarily apply to us, but I think it's just proof that, pricing is so important and what could potentially filter to us over time. And if you look at the 50 largest markets in the United States, 48 of the 50 are seeing negative price growth. Meaning, if you look at the median price in those territories of 2024 versus median price in 2025, it's down a certain percentage. You can see leading that is Georgetown, Texas, and then the Tampa, St. Pete area in Florida. Now, I will say it does still apply that of a majority of these that are down, and this is just a little screenshot of, there's a bunch more in here. This is just the top of it. Majority of them, I think it was 85%, are in Florida and Texas, which did get hit by obviously hurricanes and other storms, so I'm just telling you that impacted it as much as the economy, meaning insurance has gone up, rebuilding, things along those lines as well. But anytime something happens on the coast, it tends to work its way towards the middle. That goes back to that conversation of, are we protected in terms of inventory for now? Yeah. And I don't really see that changing greatly unless a bunch of sellers just pop up and all of a sudden and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to move. But it is worth noting, like right now, where I'm going with this is if you're running CMAs and let's just say you have a price range, say the house is 250, you think it's worth 250 to 265, you should be fighting to get it at as close to 260 as you possibly can. It's no more of the, hey, yeah, let's try this and just see what happens. Because when you do that, then you start chasing the market. What I mean is you go and you do a price reduction of, let's just say you overprice it by 15,000. You do a price reduction after 2 or 3 weeks of 5,000. 2 weeks go by, another 5,000, 2 weeks go by. It actually takes you 6 to 7 weeks to get to the price that you should have been at the beginning. Now your property could potentially be stigmatized and you're not going to get that 260 anymore. You're probably going to have to drop it down because you've been on the market for 3 months and people are going to start asking what's wrong with it. They don't see that we started here and slowly worked our way down. And that's what we talk about when we're talking about chasing the market. So, and that's a really good, by the way, in the Shift book, there's a really great graphic on this. I wish I could remember the page. I want to say like 112 or 116. I could be off on that. But in the Shift book, there's a really great graphic that you can use in listing presentations that kind of talks about how if the market is declining, and I'm not saying we're declining, although some are, if a market's declining, your price reductions in the market tend to decline at the same pace and you never actually sell the home. So just food for thought when you're going on your listing appointments.
Rates staying up isn't necessarily a terrible thing.
No, it's really not.
Because if they dropped, then all these 3% loans would hit the market. And right now, with the limited demand, the supply would shoot up.
Yeah.
And it would not be a good thing at all.
Yeah. I would like to see them down a little bit. So if we're looking at a conventional, again, talking national level numbers, not necessarily local, but conventional right around 7 right now, I'd love to see that under like 6.25 or 6. Like I mean, like a 3/4 reduction, I think would give us the buyer confidence to continue to sell homes without the 3%ers rushing to the market because it's still double their rate. So
I think if it dips below 6, it's gonna be scary.
Oh, it'll be feeding frenzy
I
again.
really don't like what's going on with my under 200 people.
Yeah. Oh, under 200 is, it's so.
Feast or famine.
Did y'all know this? There was a post on Facebook that somebody posted talking about housing affordability. And it made me think about something. I got on there and looked, and I had done some research recently. The average age of first-time home buyers, y'all have heard me say this before, it's 38, right? Did you know that in 2019, it was 33? It went up 5 years in 6 years. That's not normal. Like, that just tells you, like, in terms of first-time home buyers, that under 200,000 price point, like a lot of people can't afford homes, and it's a combination of things. Everything's more expensive. We know that, but when you compound you know, the housing plus the mortgage rates plus the cost of living. It's just really adding up. And a lot of people are having to save money for longer. I was talking to Ryan, who makes great money as a young kid. He's a firefighter. So, you know, he's pulling in good money. And we were talking about him buying a house. And we projected it out that it would probably take him 2 to 3 years from now to have enough money to put the down payment, buy the house that he wants, and keep his payment where he needs. He's 22. So he's going to be 27 or 28 before he can buy his house. And this is a kid that's been saving to buy a house since he was 18 years old. So just to let you know, like, you know, what people are facing right now. So, oh, I got somebody wanted to join. Let me get them in real quick. There we go.
Matt,
I was like, man, I'll give you a discount on commission. That's all I can do. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to get him to buy a duplex and house hack it, but we'll see. And he's actually game for that.
Finding one off market, I'll let you know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Matt.
yeah.
The bad thing is there's no affordable renting, so these kids cannot, these younger generation cannot. I don't see how they can save any money to get a down payment.
Yeah, I mean that's the challenge, and that's why the average age has gone up to basically when you hit your, you know, mid professional level to be able to buy, because, you know, you're seeing it where either children are having to live with parents for longer, or multiple kids roommating together in order to be able to find something. So, and even then it's a challenge to save money, because the ultimate factor is wage growth hasn't matched housing affordability and cost of living.
But ran in 2 years.
Right.
Construction continues to fall off. It's going to be, people are going to be begging to have the rents today in 2 years.
Oh,
They
rents will
do
keep
something.
going up. Yeah.
They're gonna skyrocket. 2
Mhm.
years of reduce. I mean, look at the number of duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes in our area alone.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane.
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, we're on the verge of a. Oh, I don't know what I just
I
did.
got
Right there.
one if y'all need one.
Yeah, we're on the verge of a. I mean, I really mean this, and we've been on this verge for a while. So don't let this scare you. Like, we've been riding this line for a while. We're on the verge of a housing crisis in the United States. I mean, we really are. So we've been riding that line for a while, and we're not going further towards the crisis, which is good. We're just kind of riding this line, but something's got to give eventually, without a doubt. And, you know, if I think back to when I first got into the industry, which was right after 2008, that's when you started seeing like first time home buyer grants and credits and things like that. I mean, one of my best friends bought a house, and they basically handed him a check for 15 grand at closing. And then he got tax incentives on top of that. So there's certain levers that the government can pull if they need to. They just haven't done it yet because it hadn't hit that crisis level, at least in their mind. So I would argue otherwise, but we'll see. All right. So like I said, June rate cut is now seen as off the table. So they just had the meeting on May 7th where the Fed met. They discussed everything and basically are saying, hey, we don't have enough information to decide to lower rates at this point. There's a lot of economic factors that are looking good, meaning like the economy is still running strong. And then there's a lot of factors such as unemployment and different things, while still historically low, are trending up. So long story short, I tried to pull the dot plot, which kind of predicts what's going to happen. They don't release a new dot plot until next month. So next month, we'll get a good indication. The overall, if y'all remember going back, we expected 2 rate cuts in 2025. They're still saying that there's probably going to be 2 rate cuts, but instead of one being like right now and one being in fall, they're probably going to be fall and winter time. So we'll see how that plays out. But just so you know, no rate cuts on the horizon, at least in the next 60 days or so. All right. Training for the quarterly call plan. For those of you following along, May 12th, you should be contacting everybody with the last name FNG, or sending text messages out to everybody with the last name of Z. I came across this article and I read it and I thought this was really good. And it kind of leads into something that we're getting ready to do as well. 5 daily habits that eliminate transaction drought. So eliminate the up and down of, you close 3 or 4 and then you don't have any pendings, and then it's a month or 2 before you close. So this was one real estate coach's ideas. He said, number 1, utilize direct messaging on social media. Said DMs on social media has become a common way for friends to communicate. It's more personal than a text. That shocked me. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Y'all are on social more than me, but it's more would y'all consider a DM more personal than a text?
I would.
I wouldn't either. Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't the only one.
Not to me.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I was like, am I that out of touch with the world or what? Less. Yeah. It's like, yes, you are. Less intrusive than a phone call. I would agree with that. And ultimately, it facilitates a conversation where people are spending their time. I mean, they're already on social media, so can we communicate with them directly on there? Number 2, post on social media in the morning. If you want to grow your social media following, consistency is the key. Daily posts are ideal, but find a pace for posting where you can have some peace. Posting on social media in the morning, right after I've done my 10 DMs. This is what this coach recommends. And he said, you can make the argument that that isn't the best time in algorithms. He's like, and if you have the time to hit the algorithms, by all means do. But if you're not great at social media and you're just trying to build a morning routine, send 10 DMs, make a social media post and do that every day. And that takes care of your social media. Let's see. The next one is share hot sheet highlights. Big fan of this. I've been doing this for a long time, and I know this works. Every great agent I know checks the hot sheet every morning. They look for new listings or listings with substantial price reductions that they can share with their prospective buyers. I would actually say take it a step further. If all of you run some sort of database, some of you run different ones, some of you are in command, some of and other things. But if you start to put all of your buyers in your database and then tag them with the price point that they're looking at. So, for example, 175 to 200,000, 250 to 300,000, something like that. Then you build the habit of every day when you come in, check and see what new listings have happened, what price reductions have happened, but then go a step further. Instead of just texting that out, hey, check out 123 Main Street, it just came available in your price point. What if it look like if you actually record a video of your computer screen and you're scrolling through the MLS sheet and the photos while talking behind it? Hey, I found this house. It's right in your price point. It's in Ohio County, which is right where you want it to be. And it even has the 2 acres and a barn that I know you guys would love. And then you're showing some photos of that. It's just a personal touch and lets them know 2 things. A, you never know. It could lead into a showing, which leads to a contract. But B, it lets your people know that you're out hunting for them and you're not just sitting back waiting on them to send you something. So it's a really effective thing. It's really, really effective for really old leads, by the way. If you have leads in your database that are 2 or 3 years old but haven't bought anything, this is a way to get them re-engaged and get them back to looking at houses. All right. Next one, number 4, send unsolicited video CMAs. So same concept. You're going to basically run a quick CMA through Paragon, but instead of just shooting the CMA over to them, to actually record the video, show the properties that you're comping it to, and then show the numbers that they have and show you talking about those things. So run your CMA. Big fan of just sending CMAs in general. I try to send CMAs to past clients usually at least once a year, if not twice per year. But the video CMA was an idea that I had never heard of before. So I kind of like that one. And then finally, track your real estate conversations. All the previously mentioned activities should lead back to you having as many real estate conversations as possible. Nothing happens until we talk with prospective buyers and sellers. Conversations lead to appointments, appointments lead to contracts, and contracts lead to closings. The industry average has been widely reported as 50 real estate conversations lead to 1 contract. If you break your transaction goal down by how many daily conversations you need, you'll be on the path for success. And this goes back to just knowing our numbers and choose that. Now, I will say I've tracked this for about 2 years. What I see in our area, and I'm not talking just me or my team, I'm talking to all the agents that I met with and that track their numbers. Closer to 75 transactions leads to a contact. Usually 50 transactions will get you a signed listing or a signed buyer agreement, but then you need more in order to get to closing. What was that, Denise?
Conversations.
Yeah, conversations. Yeah. All right. So there's 5 tips to be able to help you in your industry. And then also wanted to make sure you knew we're launching a challenge that's actually launches Thursday. It's our initial meeting and then it kind of kicks off next week. But if y'all remember, we did 75 hard a few years back. We're basically bringing that back, a revamped edition, 9 pendings in 90 days. So the goal is what we're going to do is set up, have an initial meeting, talk through everything with certain things that you have to hit throughout the week. I'll go ahead and tell you because I'm the one helping develop the program. It's 10 conversations per day, nothing crazy. We're not going like full blown bold or anything, but we did 10 on purpose because we know that would lead to 50 conversations a week, which can help you get to adding to your pipeline. 2 open houses, a series of social media posts with a certain amount per week having to be video, and then shooting out video messages to your past clients sphere of influence and things along those lines. And then some health stuff just to help maintain stress, like prayer, meditation, or reading daily. Let's see, we're going to read the MREA together and follow a diet. Brad, just for you, I took the water off. So you don't have to drink a gallon of water this time. Yeah. And then we're going to track the pendings and stuff like that as well. So a pretty neat challenge. Like I said, that kicks off this Thursday. It will be online, so you can attend online. And then we're going to do our follow-up meetings our Monday at lunch. So Monday from 12 to 1, where everybody will report out. And then all of that's online as well. So no matter where you're at, you can attend those and come grow your business. All right, events. So we have broker opens today. One is Jago is doing in Pebblewood a coffee break. That is from 10:30 till 12. The address is 5904 Jessica Lane. Oh, I need some
Is
contacts.
that the one closer to here? Sort of on this side of town?
Correct.
I get 'em.
Yeah.
They're all the east, they're
East
all
end.
three east.
What's
side.
Pebble Stone's the one that's
No,
been Heatherstone's Ben Halls, right? Okay.
Heatherstone's Ben Hall's right across from Windstone.
Yeah. They all end in stone is how I remember they're there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Windstone, Grace, or Heatherstone.
Yeah.
Pebblewood's 54 here.
And then Belinda is doing one over on Sturbridge Place. So this is a remodeled home 4 and 2. And then
Those are new construction.
new construction. Okay. Yeah.
Manufactured.
Oh,
Okay.
They're
what's that?
kind of, they're crazy overpriced, but I talked to the guy that is kind of in the middle of it all, and he told me that they've got like $30,000 to work with. So I'm just telling that because he's my buddy, and if y'all want to get a deal,
You might be able to get it for less.
well,
Maybe.
you could do a rate buy down, you could do closing costs. They basically cover all those things for you if your buyer was needing those things.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's good. And what are they asking for these? Like
Like
159? Oh,
Where
no.
was that?
They're like 280
Sturbridge Place.
Where-
280?
off of Graham Lane. Yeah.
And they're manufactured.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Sturbridge.
Correct. Where?
Yellowstone, Yellow Creek Park. I mean, like over in that general area.
Yes, you go right on the Graham Lane and take a left, right,
Mhm.
right there
Yeah.
by Larry's or whatever it's called. That
Yeah.
little-
Oh, okay, okay.
and it's back in there. That's where what's his name? The representative or whatever. He had all that land back. Boswell. Remember he?
Is
sold
this
all that-
part of that
Yeah.
where they
That's where
sold it
that-
out to
that's-
make those,
yes.
build those lots out? Okay.
Who built that?
It's I think it's Troutman. I think Christina Sumner's
Christina's name?
Yeah.
name. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Why
that's
did
what
she-
it is.
I don't think she's licensed anymore.
Yeah, why didn't she list? She's not
I-
licensed.
I don't think.
I
she-
don't think
Oh,
she's
she
licensed
works
anymore.
for him. They do jobs.
Oh,
for him.
she put her license up?
I mean, I haven't seen her sell anything in forever, so I'm just
Yeah,
guessing.
She just manages him.
And so
Yeah.
she's getting all, they're gonna have
It's
like
like
30
he
of
gets
these.
right.
Yeah, I did hear there was
She's
30
getting-
of them.
She'll have all these lists. Belinda is getting all those listings for,
Oh, nice.
yeah, she'll have all 30 of those. But if you've got somebody for these, I talked to the guy yesterday and he said they can work something out as far as down payment or as far as the buy down and closing costs.
Sweet.
So,
And then the last one, these aren't till Thursday from 5 to 7. Those attached homes over on Hill Avenue. Looks like Leah and then Ryan and Siobhan are opening those, and they're going to have drinks and food and all of that fun stuff. That'll be Thursday from 5 to 7.
They're really nice.
Yeah.
They're right by the help, right. in front of
Yeah.
the-
Right. Like share a parking lot with it
If I was
almost.
single or had just me and Abby, I would be there.
All right. Who you got? So what?
Single.
What?
I'm saying if I was a single man, I'm trying to help promote a single woman too. That's fine. I would be there.
All right. Now let's start with new listings. What new listings do you have coming to the market?
New listings.
I've got one in the Heartland's coming up.
Yeah.
2 and 2, all updated. Probably around 200. It's
Alright.
very nice. I need a bunch of stuff.
Well, hold on. We're sticking with just new listings for now, and then we'll circle around to the other stuff. All right, Rebecca, go ahead.
I got Village Run.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I've got one 3-bed, 3-bath with a secondary living room or flexible family room as well coming on Harbor Hills Trace over near Ben Halls Park. And that should be active by tomorrow afternoon. for $299,900.
Good listing.
Yeah, that is a good one. Any other new listings?
We've
Oh,
got
I got a patio home of the Heartlands, 3-2. New roof, just got a new roof and new gutters from the storm.
Is that down the road from Shookman's?
Yeah,
Is that
Chipman's is the one I manage.
is that Elder Drive for like
No,
one?
that's
Somebody just
Elder's
looks.
Twin Lakes.
Oh, that's right.
I've already showed you
ours
that.
is just under, like, I told them.
Yeah, it's,
in
I said-
Market Springs.
I gave them an offer and they wouldn't. They came back like $1,000 under where they're at.
I saw where the new one just hit on Elder Drive. That's 190, and it's a 2-2,
What is it?
2-2 on Elder Drive for 190. One of the patio's house.
That seems hot.
I thought so too,
I
but
thought it was pending, but I think it's back on the market.
oh, is it back?
Uh, yeah, right here, 190.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild.
How many square feet is it?
Does she still have a buyer for that?
It's,
For that
which
village
one?
rent- For the village rent?
1205.
You still have a buyer for that?
Yeah, I just sent it to him.
Okay, yeah, just,
I mean, those other people that Chipman's got, they suck. So I
and
don't-
they're investors.
Oh, I
so,
know.
Yeah, I've got, mine are, I have got a first right of refusal, so they might be a little bit more flexible.
All right, I just sent it to him, so.
All right. What about let's go with listings with price reductions or listings you need help selling.
Freeman Avenue, right off Griffith, please. It's been shown like 20 times. I don't know what the flip's wrong with it. So,
It's a good house.
I don't think it's overpriced. I mean, really, it's at $359.9. I think the main thing is it doesn't have a main master, so.
Yeah, upstairs. I can see that.
In the yard, but now I got my triplex fund staying in if you got investors. I don't know if y'all seen it, but I talked about it a million times. So grossing over 70K, making money right behind Russia, triplex.
Oh, remember your fourplex or fiveplex on 20th Street?
Oh, God. I should have bought that. I could have bought that for 60,000.
Who was
I
that?
saw a naked lady in there.
Were any of y'all at lunch with me when I was talking about walking into the duplex? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was there.
827 Walnut. It's for sale right now. It's actually actively for sale.
The one right
Yeah,
behind my
that's the
9th
one.
Street car lot listing.
Oh, yeah.
Last year.
Is that right? That Jody, the one that Jody's got?
Yeah, yeah.
That was, I went in there, it was awful. I saw roaches, I saw everything before it was.
Oh yeah, that thing's been sold a million times.
Yeah.
All right, Amanda, go ahead.
I have a townhome over in Lake Cumberland State Park. If anyone has an investor, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Has one parking spot, but there's additional parking over by the boat sheds. And I lease. I had 2 units over there, and I'm just selling one of them if anybody's interested. But it has in-ground heated pool, gated community. It's a resort. It's called Apple Valley. You can look it up. But it isn't an area where like people don't come there to like shop and spend money per se, but there is like hiking trails and there's things to do like trail riding with horses, and like all kinds of stuff, archery, things like that to that nature. They also have like a convention center at the end. It's like 5 miles at the water where you could host like parties. And that's something that I'm going to be looking at soon, just to give my clients the option to have. But if anybody's interested, it's $225. You can just let me know. And then of course, all my listings over here in Campbellsville, I have some new listings coming up, but they're like not in your areas. But if anybody has anybody looking over here and would want to refer the business, I would love to work with you guys.
There you go. Love that.
The
All right.
best.
Denise said you're the best. Thank you.
Hey, is anybody going to Elevate? Any ladies in there?
I'll go, can I go?
Yes, ladies, sorry.
Cynthia DeRoe.
All right.
Gotcha.
It's going to be a good time.
Matt, I will have my pear orchard in Elizabethtown.
I got one of those.
Oh, hold on. Hey, hold on. Monica's up.
I'll
Hey,
have
hey,
my
side
3-bed
conversations down, please.
Well, I'll have the
All right.
3-bedroom brick. Coming up soon, the Brick Ranch, 3-bedroom, bath and a half, priced at $289 at Pear Orchard in Elizabethtown, full basement, fully finished, and new roof, new HVAC, new appliances. Sits on a almost half-acre lot. It's 4.6 of an acre, so it also has a new outbuilding. Well, I should say we totally redone the outbuilding, Matt.
Awesome. What's the price on that
Be
one?
Online, I'm hoping in the next few days. If anyone has a buyer, send them my way.
What was the price on it?
289.
289. Sweet. Okay. Love that. All right. Now buyers.
I got listings still.
Oh, go ahead. Moose has a bunch of listings that he can't sell, y'all. All right.
Correct.
Next.
Correct.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Y'all here showed, so. Very true. Nobody showed it though. I got a car lot. Who has buyers in here? Raise their hand. Okay, never mind. Huh?
Is it something multi, is it like commercial that could be multi-use or is it? just-
Yes. I got a commercial car lot. Ninth Street. I got a triplex. Who's got buyers for a
Nice.
triplex?
Nice. Good job. Good job.
Who's got buyers for a single family? Nobody. Okay.
It's big say they're all under, we've got a bunch that are under 200. And those people, man, they're having to fight for every
I
single
know.
one.
Yeah.
It's so hard. We got one that we put in like 4 offers and been rejected every time.
I had to win one yesterday with no.
And I'm talking, we're going list price, but the competition is.
It's strange. It's the tale of two markets.
Should I just
Under
write-
200,000
I
is
just write my wants and needs.
nuts.
What would it be? Would that
I
be
mean,
better?
we went.
I feel like I'm wasting my breath.
We went over ask on the last
Yeah,
one we put in for that guy and lost.
We're struggling on listings this week.
No, I'm talking, I've got listings I need buyers for,
I know. But
like
they're,
in the Griffith area.
but they're on MLS, right?
Right, but I mean,
I mean, the issue with that is unless they see it, can't force somebody to go look at it.
no, I know, but I'm making sure that y'all are seeing them. Like, I want to make sure that your team and everyone in here knows what active listings I have or someone else has.
I mean, I've seen them.
I just want to make sure y'all have seen all of my active listings, that I'm not just.
I think I've scoured MLS up and down.
Cheryl, go ahead. You're up. Oh, Cheryl, I think you're muted.
Girl.
Cheryl, can you hear us?
She's at the pound.
That's
All right. We'll give Cheryl a minute. Anybody else? How about buyers? I don't think we've covered buyers yet.
I've got the same buyers.
For buyers.
750 in a pool, 550 in a pool. Same ones.
Oh, Cheryl's joining again. Hold on.
190,
To be on a team to start.
200 east side, 350 east side.
All right, Cheryl, I got you in twice. I think.
Okay, sorry. No, I don't know what happened. I was denied. Something was wrong with my speaker. I've got a listing and a price reduction. Price reduction on 1724 celebration, 4,200. It's down to 575. It's actually a really good buy for that neighborhood. Well, it is. It's in immaculate shape, as you well know, decorated to the T. Furniture could be included in some of it. She's motivated, already has a house, so see if you can bring me somebody. I've got 3161 Spring Ridge Parkway going to come up at the end of this week. It's a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath. I'm working on the square footage, somewhere between 3 and 4 square footage. It's, it's going to be, and I'm working on the numbers. So, but it'll be probably in the 600 range, 600-ish.
Does that have a pool?
No pool.
Room for a
Hold on.
pool?
Pardon? Yes, room for a pool. I mean, I would need to, check it, but yeah. It's there in the corner. It's a really good house. So it's in great shape. It's and it's got an outdoor living area, covered patio, outdoor bar with a fireplace back there. It also has not only a movie room, but then another middle-sized room in the middle of, like when you come up the stairs, like right now, they've got a pool table or ping pong table up there now. So it's just really fun.
Cul-de-sac in Lake Forest, right?
Pardon?
Cul-de-sac in Lake Forest?
Yeah, that cul-de-sac is that first house on the right as you
I
pull
got
in.
somebody for it.
All right. They're doing graduation stuff, so they'll show it only if they're pre-approved letter, really serious. Otherwise, it'll probably be into next week before they'll show.
Got
Okay.
pre-approved, got cash.
Awesome. Let's do it.
All right. Anything else? All right. Don't forget about
Quick
your broker
question,
opens.
Matt.
Yeah.
Matt,
Yeah, go ahead,
I have a
Monica.
quick question while everyone's in the room. Is everybody kind of going by the rule of thumb, still getting their buyers pre-approved before the first showing or on the second, third?
No, you
ongoing
have to
after
get
the
it
first?
before you show the house.
So, I mean, you guys are getting the pre-approval before you show the first time, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. You said pre-approval. I thought you said buyer
Yeah.
agent.
No.
I am.
I'm getting them before. I'm telling everybody to get them beforehand because you don't want to show a house and then for whatever reason they can't qualify for that price or even qualify for a mortgage at all. And we're seeing more and more of that right now.
Yeah,
Right,
I've
just-
been seeing that.
Well, during pandemic, I was doing that, but now it seems to be that like people are just wanting in the door the first one, and then I'll show them like following up. I ask for the pre-approval afterwards. Is that not correct?
You kind of cut out at the beginning part, but my whole career I've made them get pre-approvals before I ever show a house. That's just me, the way I run my business. Of course, you're free to do whatever you'd like.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. See y'all. Have a great day.